Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. Here I have probably the biggest showcase I'll ever do on my channel, consisting of a lot of figures because I didn't really count them beforehand, so I'm just gonna let you do the counting. So yeah, anyways, Infinity War, it's right here, it's right upon us, and we've been waiting 10 years for this movie, this film that we've so much been waiting on and making theories and just getting hyped for this film. And it's just satisfying to tell you guys that I was able to finish all these figures to celebrate the release of Avengers Infinity War. And to celebrate that, I've created all these figures from Lego, and I've just taken them into my own direction and into what I like doing, customizing. I customized them all in the way that I thought would be nice, in my own opinion. It doesn't mean that you have to agree, but I do hope that you feel inspired to make your own. If you want to share your artistic style or artistic, I don't know, because everyone has artistic styles. I've seen so many other people do different things with these figures, and it's just been amazing. But this is my own interpretation of the Infinity War, most of the cast, because I wasn't able to do all the characters that I initially planned, but I will do a spin-off showcase pretty much with the Black Order and other characters such as Loki and Nebula, and maybe Hawkeye if he does end up in the film, and other characters possibly. So for this video I do have Captain America here, and then Bucky, Black Widow, Falcon, Hulk, Thor, Black Panther, Wanda, Vision, Peter Quill, Gamora, Drax, Teen Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Mantis, War Machine, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man in his Iron Man Mark 50 suit. And of course we cannot forget Thanos back here with the Infinity Gauntlet, all with all his gemstones in place. So I'm just gonna say that this is gonna be probably a pretty difficult video to record because there's so much to cover, yet I do not want to make this video super long. So I'll do my best to keep it under the 50-minute mark maybe. This is hard to estimate before we even jump into the close-ups of every figure, but I'll do my best, guys. So bear with me while we do this, and I just hope that you guys enjoy. Sit back and just leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll just jump right into it. So first we have Steve, or Captain America, although he is called Nomad in Infinity War as far as I know. However, I still like calling him Steve. So, as you can probably tell right off the bat, he has his new hairstyle and beard to sport. So I added those, and I think it looks very nice to the actor Chris Evans. And then his outfit, which is the same as the one from Civil War, except without the A's on his shoulders and the star, even though he does have like this shape right there, so that's darkened up. But it's the same suit as Civil War, so I did that pretty much again, except in a darker blue color, because last time I did it in a lighter blue, and pretty much just did the exact same thing. 3 straps for the belt, and the straps that go around his body, like the ones in the back and the 2 in the front that were supposed to hold his shield. But since now he doesn't have one shield, he has 2 Wakanda shields. Wakandian, I don't know what you would call those, but they are new shields that T'Challa just gives him, and I did not add those because I just ran out of time, so I hope you guys understand that. But other than that, that's pretty much it for Steve. So let's move on. Next up is White Wolf, or as I like calling him, Bucky Barnes, or the Winter Soldier. He does have a pretty simple look in Infinity War, but still a pretty nice figure, if I do say so myself. He's overall simple, so I'll go with this one pretty quick. The arm is gunmetal silver, a little bit darker than the last time, and then it's got black lines and then golden highlights that you can barely see there, but they're there. And then this figure I made when there was barely any reference to him, so the back is pretty much just winged, and yeah, and he's carrying a brick arms rifle machine gun that I switched out the ammo. A clip, it had like a little box with ammo, and then I found this clip that's a little bit more accurate to the one that he uses in Infinity War, and used that. And then he's using this female hair that used to have like a little extension here onto the front, just like Gamora's hair from Guardians of the Galaxy, but I chopped that off and then painted the whole thing a dark brown, and also the beard onto a regular Lego face. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Mr. Bucky here. A little holster down there on his side that you can barely see. So yeah, nothing much else to say about Mr. Bucky here, so that's about it. Next is Black Widow, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, why did I use a pearl white for the hair? And that is simply because that's what I thought I saw in the trailer, so I thought, well, why not do that, and just I did that, because why not? I don't know. I just like the look of this color, and also, this figure was also made back when there was barely any reference to this figure. Again, I've been working on these figures for like 2 months now, and there was no reference whatsoever for the back, so I just winged it, and I gave her a little bit of weathering back there because I didn't know what was gonna happen back there. So yeah, her vest though is three-dimensional, and she's got these straps, these which are also three-dimensional, so there's 2 layers of three-dimensional straps on this figure, and also the buttons or sticks that she uses are simple black, only because I don't know, I just didn't think it was necessary to paint any more details onto them because they're just sticks. And then on her legs I added a holster right there, as you can see on her leg, and then on the other side there's also another holster which is symmetrical to the other one. Knee pads, and yeah, that's honestly about it. The hairpiece was a friend's rubber-ish hairpiece, and then I just painted on the pearl metallic color that you see there, and I believe that is Black Widow's hair head, my bad, but I'm not sure. I just had it and it looked like her, so I was like, why not use that? So that's why I'm using that now. So yeah, and shoulder pads, yeah, that's cool. Anyways, that's it for Black Widow. And then we have Falcon, and I gotta say that this is probably one of the coolest figures from this entire showcase for one particular reason. And that reason is that this figure actually has a little feature, I guess you could say, and that feature being that his wings can actually move. So basically, I took my Civil War a Falcon figure, and then I pretty much just copied over the entire design with a few upgrades and stuff, because I mean, experience changes over the time, so I did that, and I added the fin hair that everyone's been adding to their Falcon. Well, not everyone, but you know, I pretty much just painted that face out of scratch, so that was cool, and I think I actually got it right this time. It just looks better this time. Everything looks better this time. So overall, the character is pretty simple, I mean the figure, and it's simple, straightforward, but still very quite accurate, if I do say so myself, because I was careful with that this time. And he has like these clone trooper pistols that he's using because he didn't have any other brick arms to give him, which would have been a little bit more accurate, but these also work, so I'm fine with that. So onto the wings, which is the main attraction from this figure. So if we take the wings, they are on ball joints. So pretty much what I did for my Vulture figure for Spider-Man, I did onto this figure. However, I made it better this time, more reliable, more durable, more It's just better structured this time, if you know what I mean. I did not like do all the details on the back because I mean you're just gonna look at the back, so I only did that. I will probably go back and like do a little bit more detail, but I didn't think it was necessary for the sake of getting this figure out in time. There's a ton of details that he has on his wings, but I wanted it to keep it simple, yet I wanted to have this function on his wings, and they go front and back and upwards and downwards and all that, and I just think it's just cool because now I can like totally articulate these wings and just do cool shots with him or just pose him in cool ways. So I thought that was a very cool thing that I was able to add onto my Falcon figure, regardless of the lack of details on his wings. But I think you guys understand why that is what happened, if you understand what I mean. Anyways, that's about it for Falcon, so let's go on to the next one. And here we have my Black Panther, my newly and just fully remade Black Panther for Infinity War. She's, I guess you could say she or he, I don't know. T'Challa, he is pretty much just fully remade in his same suit that he uses in Black Panther and of course Infinity War, but did not add the purple as of my Black Panther showcase. And as you can probably tell, I fully remade the entire helmet or cowl or however you want to call that, the Panther head on him, to a more simple look, and I think it looks just a lot better than my last one. So I honestly feel kind of ashamed of my last one after making this one, and I don't know, I'm super happy with this one, and this is definitely probably the best that I can do for the cowl. But this is definitely the definitive Black Panther head that I would do, so I'll probably just redo this head and give it to my purple suit, Black Panther. So yeah, that's Black Panther. Then we have the Hulk in his angry, green, and big form, fully transformed into this monster, and it's pretty straightforward. He's fully repainted in my own green, and then I took some green stuff or sculpting material, and then I just filled in the gaps that Lego Big Figs have in their arms, which is pretty annoying, and gave him a blue short, ripped, and yeah. That's it for Hulk. Thank you. Next we have Vision, and he's also pretty straightforward. I did not use the Lego torso, but I did use the Lego head and then painted on my own design for the head, which is taking inspiration from the Lego one. And then just the rest of the body, torso, and everything else is copied from images and whatnot, toys. The cape is also pretty cool. I added a little bit more details this time around to that as of my Civil War one, because that sucked, and yeah. But this one I'm very happy with. It's got more details, painted by me, of course. Everything is painted by me except the eyes, the mouth, and all that stuff. But the gunmetal thing here, which is kind of grayish, kind of greenish, to go with him, it's all painted by me. So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it for Vision. And hey, there's the Mind Stone. Yeah, that's it for Vision. And to go with Vision, of course, we have to have Wanda, and here is Scarlet Witch, and she is also pretty straightforward, simple. I did not do a lot to her. I think she was one of my first figures that I ever finished, so she doesn't have that much because she doesn't have that much. Just her vest or jacket or whatever she's wearing, and then the shirt under her thing here, which was kind of fun to do, and the hairpiece, this hairpiece, I did have to carve a little bit or sand off a little bit so that this could like not conflict with. It's a tight fit still, which is good. I like that. That way we know that it's not gonna fall apart easily, and the head is straightforward, the same one for her, Scarlet Witch, and then she has like a little necklace painted on her to her neck there, and that's pretty much it for Scarlet Witch, to be honest with you. Yeah. Next is Iron Man himself in his Mark 50 suit, and oh man, this video was pretty fun, interesting, and just kind of stressful at times, because I know I used a CAC or Clone Army Customs armor piece with this one, and everyone else is using flat torsos or sculpting a little bit of the armor onto his figure, but I wanted to keep it traditional and just use a armor piece for mine, because I kind of want to do that for all my Iron Mans. I kind of want to go back and do other marks and suits and whatnot with the same armor piece, so that's the only reason why I went with this option. So, just so you know, and it's fully painted by me. All four sides have something on them, the helmet as well. Under the helmet we have the Tony Stark Lego head piece, which is the oldest or the first one, because I don't have a newer version of it, but I'll just go on and show you everything. The knee pads, the legs, the sides of the legs, even the insides have a little bit of detail, not that whole lot, but it's barely visible there. But I don't want to like move the legs, because then some of the paint could scratch off, so I don't want to do that and risk it. Anyways, on the back, there's a lot more details going on the back on this guy than usually I cared to put on my figures, only because he's Iron Man. Like, come on, he's Iron Man. So yeah, and then on his arms are fully detailed as well. I hope I got most of the details right, because there was some pictures of him, like the sideshow figure and whatnot, so I tried to copy as much as I could onto his figure. And yeah, and then on the top of the helmet you can see there's some red highlights. This figure does have some red highlights, which is something that I love about this figure. It just makes it stand out a whole lot more. And also black lines around the helmet and the armor piece and all that, so, and all around the entire thing, honestly. So yeah, I'm absolutely excited to see what he's gonna do in the movie, so let's just keep our hopes up and hope he doesn't die, because that would hit us in the feelings. Anyways, that's it for Tony. Here we have War Machine, and I put it right next to Iron Man because, well, they're best buddies and whatnot. So, and they're both Iron Man, so why not? And you can probably understand the under detail on this figure, because he does have less detail than Iron Man, especially in the back, which is like almost plain black. And that is because there was absolutely no reference or pictures of him when I did this figure. So there was like no trailers, no pictures, no toys, no nothing for War Machine, except for one tiny picture that yeah, was in a poster image, and he was tiny. So I ended up with this, and I think it works. I like it, and I'm satisfied with it. And also, one cool thing about this one is that his cannon rotates. So I wanted to incorporate several features to some characters, this one being it. And it's also rotatable, posable to an extent. It can also go upwards and whatnot. It's very basic. So basically, this is an antenna or a handle, lever, Lego piece, and then the ball of the bar, I guess you could say, is attached to this very old Lego skeleton arm, or yeah, it was arm connection piece. So this piece right here was white. I just don't want to remove it because I don't want to break it, but it's very posable. So not very posable, but it still works for what I wanted. So I just like that feature on him. And under his helmet is a Rhodey head. Not really, it's an old Lego Star Wars Battle Pack First Order head. Anyways, that's it. Next up, it's Iron Spider, or Spider-Man, however you want to call him. And he's pretty straightforward as well. Most of my figures are straightforward, as you can probably tell. But this one was kind of time consuming to make, more than I thought. So what's mostly special about this one is that he's just Iron Spider, and that's pretty much it. So basically the suit that Tony Stark gives to Spider-Man at the end of the film, Spider-Man Homecoming, and obviously the suit he's going to use in Infinity War. I'm stalling a little bit, so excuse me for that. But anyways, I used the Lego Spider-Man head for Spider-Man, and I just added more webbing and all that stuff to his head. Added some varnish to protect that from scratching and stuff. Added highlights for the eyes. They are pearl colored, so they stand out a lot more. And then the rest is just webbing and some blue and the huge spider that's on his chest, which then goes onto this back, to his back in there. And I did not do the Iron Spider legs because I didn't have time, and I still am kind of skeptical about those, so I'll probably do them. I don't know, and I don't want to do something that scratches the paint on his back, so I'll probably just skip on those for now. And also some webbing on his legs, as you can probably tell there, and on his arms as well. Plus a few golden details in blue and whatnot, so yeah, that's Iron Spider. Next we have Doctor Strange, and as you can probably recognize if you've been following me for quite a while, I did make a Doctor Strange back when Doctor Strange came out, and I made the same Eye of Agamotto, and as you can probably tell if you saw that video, I still have the same problem because I'm using the same Eye of Agamotto. I'm just reusing it. It doesn't stick to his torso, so it's floating, and that's fine, so I'll just have to make one in the future again, because for time's sake I just didn't have the time to make a new one, so I just made the figure. And instead of making a new Eye of Agamotto, I actually detailed my cape this time, which was not a thing back then, so I like it a lot more this time. I think the cape is a lot more accurate, and also the face and the hair and everything is a little bit better, and the details just highlight a little bit more this time, and I'm just overly happy with this figure, a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure what'll happen with my old Doctor Strange, but this is totally a step up from that time, so I'm overly happy with it. So with that said, he's pretty straightforward. Some straps, his front is fabric, his waist cape is also fabric, and his belts, he has two belts, as you can tell right there, and then a three-dimensional disc, whatever that is there, and his capes. So yeah, that's Doctor Strange for you. Next we have Thor, the God of Thunder, and he is quite straightforward as well. He's also one of the very first ones that I finished for Infinity War, so not everything is accurate, and as you can probably tell, I did go for the sleeveless version with the cape. I believe that's one appearance that he has in the movie, so I just went ahead and did that because I did the one without the cape, and then I was like, this needs something, so I added the cape and just call it good. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, he does not have the weapons simply because I just did not have time for that. So I apologize for not having the Stormbreaker weapon on this one, like this video, but soon enough I'll probably have one made, and once I have time. But anyways, the hairpiece is the same one that I gave to my Thor for Thor Ragnarok, which is the alternate hair, and then the face is the exact same face except with the eye patch and the scar. And the circular things here are three-dimensional, and everything else is just painted on. So yeah, and this is one of the newer fabric capes, so yeah, that's Thor. And now we have Star-Lord, or Peter Quill, and I gotta say that I'm totally happy with this figure, with the jacket, which is three-dimensional and wraps around the entire torso, and also both blasters, which are also slightly modified Lego blasters for Star-Lord, And as you can probably tell, one of the modifications was that other than painting them, I did cut off the middle section that goes here on the two shooters. So that helps it for the accuracy. And then the head and hair piece are also painted by me. I painted the stubble, I guess the mustache, eyebrows, eyes, and the hair, which is the Superman hair piece, and I think it all works out well. So I'm totally happy with this figure. One of my favorite figures by far from the entire showcase, and that's a look at the back. So that's Mr. Star-Lord or Peter Quill for you guys. Next we have Gamora, and you can probably tell right off the bat that she is wearing a trench coat and a brand new look. That too as my Gamora from Guardians 2. And this is just a huge step up from that figure, because that figure was probably just a lame and lazy made figure, and this one just has a lot. It just so much more detail, so much more accurate, and so much better in every way that I could possibly do, including the hair, new hairstyle, new face, new tone skin, new trench coat, and new belt, and everything from that figure is just remade twice as better, even possibly more than just twice as better this time around. And I hope that's not too confusing for you to understand. I'm just overly happy with this figure, and I hope you guys enjoy her, because she's just one of my favorite ones next to Star-Lord. And I did use a regular Lego katana because I just thought it looked just fine and straightforward to what I wanted to do for Gamora this time around. Next up is Drax the Destroyer, and I'm not going to spend too much time on him because I already showcased the same figure before on my Guardians of the Galaxy 2 showcase, and so I'm just going to do a quick 360 on him, and you can appreciate all the tattoos that I did on him on both the torso and head, which are both dark gray and not the other way around, that I took the figure and painted dark gray around the already printed torso and head. I totally remade the design onto a dark gray torso, which I am totally happy with and satisfied with, so there was no need to make another Drax. And he is also using two brick forged survival knives, just to top it off. This time around we don't have a baby Groot, but we do have a baby Rocket Raccoon, and that's no type of spoiler. I just downsized my Rocket Raccoon from Guardians 2 into a tiny Rocket Raccoon, which serves as actual size, like accuracy, because Rocket Raccoon is just tiny compared to the other Guardians, and I thought, well, I just want to keep that detail real, and I took a Lego figure and just reused it and made my own Rocket Raccoon and sculpted the entire head and the little tail back there, which is honestly kind of cute looking, and I just painted some of the most fundamental details onto the Lego mini baby torso, and I just think it looks fantastic and it just works, and I'm honestly satisfied with it, and really, articulation wise, it only has the head that can turn 360, and that's it. No weapons, no nothing else, just Rocket Raccoon in a baby sized body. So yeah, that's Rocket. Next up is Teen Groot, and this is also one of my favorite figures from the entire showcase, only because I think I totally got the look and the feel to Teen Groot here. I know it's not probably a movie or film accurate, but just the look, I like the look that I gave him. It's so Lego-ized, or I don't know if I'm trying to explain the right thing, but just the look of it is straightforward, simple, yet fundamentally stable, and it works for just Teen Groot, and that's it. I took the Lego Teen Groot head, repainted it, took a plain brown torso, totally repainted it into this darker tannish color, and did the entire design from the Teen Groot figure onto this figure, and that worked well. So that's Team Groot for you guys. So I'll do one more spin because I'm totally happy with this figure. There's a look at the details of the back, and yeah, that's Team Groot. And the last of the Guardians, and also the last of the good guys, Mantis. And she doesn't have a last name, so just Mantis. And she's also pretty simple. I also took and totally remade the figure that I made back in last year, 2016-17, and I just took the original Lego hairpiece and just reused that, so it's simply the same thing, the same, I don't think that's the same head, it could be, I can't remember, but I totally remade the torso, this, a waist cape or whatever she has down there, and it works. And I also used that metallic green color that I used for Hela for Thor Ragnarok, and it totally works for me, and I'm totally satisfied with it, more than I was ever with the Guardians 2 version of Mantis. So yeah, that's Mantis. So the moment you've all been waiting for, the Mad Titan, Thanos himself, in my own representation into a Lego figure. So where do I start with this figure? I want to start with how long it took me. It took me about 30 hours just to get this figure done. What you see here is what you get for now. Anyways, I'm gonna start with what I said for Hulk. I filled in the gaps that big figs have on their arms. I did that for both arms, as you can tell. I painted on the blue for his shirt, painted on the gray for his pants, painted on the black for his boots, painted on the pink for his skin and face. I also sculpted this armor piece, which is something cool. I had never really sculpted something this big, so I'm pretty happy it worked out. It was kind of fun, experimental, and just interesting to get it right. But it was fun, it was interesting, it was something new. This belt is paper and it's glued on, and it's functional. It's not the best work I've ever done, but it still works. And the Infinity Gauntlet, you want to see that, and here it is. I had these little gems, which were just the right size, that I got it at a crafting store. I'm gonna take the arm off, if you will. So, crafting store, I added those, and then I painted the entire goldish, bronze-ish color, and then I painted on the brown outlines to add detail and depth to the gauntlet. This is also slightly sculpted, this wrist area. It does not come off as a whole gauntlet, unfortunately, but it's all there and it all fits, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot, honestly. And the gems are just so good. I'm just in love with how this came out, and I'm just happy with it. It works, and I'm happy with it. So we put that back in, and yes, in case you were wondering, I used a knockback Abomination Big Fig from eBay. I got that, and I just had to I got that because I had no idea how this would work. So don't hate me for that. Anyways, the details on his face were very hard. It took me like 3 hours just to get the face to look like how it is, and these details are also painted onto his arms, and then the knee pads are three-dimensional, made from metal, and then I did sculpt a little bit on the toes so that it would look more roundish and not too toe-ish. The back is very simple. The belt continues down this way. This extra shirt, I guess, is this extra piece of the shirt is extruding from the back. That's just how it is. Yeah, but there's nothing much more on the back. On the top back, there's a little bit more of a armor, as you can tell right there. So that's all there really is. If I can get this back in, there we go. That's really all I can say about Thanos, other than it just took me 30 hours, and I was honestly aiming for less, but I'm happy with it at the end, and there's definitely much more that can be added, but of course time restraints and all that. But I do plan to make the fully armored Thanos for Avengers 4. So stay tuned for that, which would totally be even cooler than this, but also would take a lot more time. But there wouldn't be really a time restraint there, because, I don't know, I may not put myself into a time restraint situation in that case. But anyways, that's Thanos, and that concludes all the figures for Infinity War, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. And that, guys, concludes the showcase. I don't know what else to say other than thank you for sticking around if you did until this point in the video. Thank you for just watching the video if you did. And just thank you for your support, because this does mean a lot to me. This is pretty much what I do. This is my hobby. This is what I like doing. And it just means so much, the characters that are gonna be in Infinity War, and this is my way to celebrate the release of the film. I just hope this inspires you to make your own. If you do, just let me know. And if you're new to the channel, just subscribe, like, leave a comment, tell me what you think about these figures. It can be individually, it can be just an opinion of one individual. It can be various, it can be suggestions, it can be anything, opinions on what I should do, what I should change, what, just I appreciate the feedback, and constructive criticism is totally welcome, so I support that, and I just, I don't know what else to say, guys. I'm just happy that we got this far, because again, we've been waiting 10 years for this film, and it's finally upon us. So I want to say thank you for sticking around if you did, and for my stalling, because I know I'm not the best speaker, but I just wanted to share this with you and share this with the other people that also care about the same hobby. So again, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. I will continue to do custom figures in the future, so if you do care about these, leave a like, subscribe again, and just stay tuned for more, because I do plan to make solo figures. I know not a lot of people are interested in Solo, a Star Wars movie, Star Wars story, sorry. I can work because I've been speaking all day. Anyways, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and possibly other characters along the way. So with that said, that's it. This concludes the biggest showcase, biggest, I can speak now, the biggest showcase that I've ever attempted, ever done, and just, it's been an amazing journey. So with that said, I'll leave you guys, and I'm gonna go watch Infinity War, and it's gonna be great. So I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, and have a nice day.